Hey everybody, friends and colleagues and students and peers and teachers. Welcome to the second episode of UnShamed TV. I'm going to give people a couple of minutes, or one or two maybe, to show up. And I wish I knew all the people's names when I'm used to Facebook, and they have a specific name and now they're handles of a kind. So, but welcome everybody. Thanks for being here and supporting this effort. I am a teacher. I was an attorney. I'm a teacher and process worker. Process worker means I studied and have a diplomate in process-oriented psychology, and I teach process-oriented psychology. It's a branch of Jungian psychology, and I started a school called the Santa Fe Institute for Shame-Based Studies 3-4 years ago, and teach classes there. So today, I'm going to talk a minute or two about shame and unshaming, and then we're going to invite a guest, and then I will work with that person, play with that person, dream, I call it, with that person, wander into the experiences they have and the difficulties, and see if unshaming approach will allow something to happen that's magical or profound or healing, we could say it. Galway Cannell, the poet, says the bud, the seed, the bud of the flower, the bud of the leaf, the bud is an image for everything. He says the bud stands for all things. That means everything has the potential to flower, to unfold into itself, into what it's meant to be. Right? I sometimes say the acorn will unfold into an oak. It's pregnant with oakness, and people's difficulties are also pregnant with their difficulties. Are pregnant with something that could flower out of them. The oak that's them, or the flower that's them, or the honeybee that's them, or the vulnerability, or the power, or the tenderness, or the gifts that are locked inside. I'm racing a little bit. I have to slow myself down just a little bit. Shame is the dominant paradigm for looking at our difficulties. What do I mean? That means we look at a difficulty and we think, what's wrong with that? How can I change that? What's wrong with me? How can I fix that? Maybe I need this supplement. Maybe I need this healing protocol. And sometimes those are really good. I'm not against those things. But the paradigm that says, let's look at everything as if it's a problem to be relieved or removed or changed, that's the paradigm that I'm taking to task and saying, we can do something different. We could look at things as a bud. We can look at something, a difficulty, as something that needs a kind of nourishment. I'm not saying violence to oneself needs nourishment, but the witnessing of it needs to be seen, because sometimes even in the worst difficulties, there is some oak, there's some acorn, there's some bud, and that's what we're trying to get at it. Okay, I'm going to invite our guest. Give me a second to make that invitation. Let's see, and how do I do that again? I got to remember. How do I do that? I got to do that. Okay. And give me one more moment to fix. Dot. Z. I. M. There it is. And I'm inviting somebody who I think is named Anya. I'm not sure how you pronounce her name. Hopefully she'll tell me in a moment. And there she is. Hello.
Hi, David.
Hi.
Everyone.
I'm going to fix my picture a little bit and back up a little bit so I give myself some more space.
Oh,
How do I say your name?
Anya.
Say one more time.
Anya.
Anya. Okay.
Yeah.
Anya. Hi, Anya. Nice to see you. Do we take a second and get arranged here so that we can both be on screen? I'm going to move back so that people can have a little bit more of a view of me and we can see each other. But It looks like you're having a little bit of technical difficulty. There you are.
Okay, I will remove them because I hear you like this.
Anya, we haven't sat together before. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, unless my memory is failing me. Mhm.
Actually, I have been sitting with you a lot in the shame clinic.
Oh, right, right. You were in the shame clinic. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a
it's
lot of people there. I wasn't seeing everybody, so but good to see
but
you today. Yeah,
I felt so. I
yeah.
felt your experience. So I'm very glad to be here and thank you. It's like a part of me is still not believing that I'm here because I was like, okay, I'll try, I'll see, and then that was possible. So thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah, thank you for being willing to be public, be in the world with who you are and things you're learning and working on, and giving us a chance to learn something together. That's a gift to everyone that we get a chance to learn together and understand together. I know you've been talking to Kieran, my assistant. I usually don't look at where people are asking about what they want to work on because I have this philosophy or something, and which is don't learn about things and study it beforehand, David, so that you can be fresh. So when you see a person, you're seeing them for the first time in your own eyes, and that gives me a certain beginner's mind. So I don't really know what you wanted to work on, but you tell me what's on your mind. What would you like help with?
Okay. So yeah, I totally understand this your approach. Um, so I had several subjects, but the one that is really up to date and which is on which I think I need some help. The one that is regarding actually my current situation. Okay, so I am a life coach. Okay, I work as a life coach, and my let's say my biggest purpose. I mean, I used to say that I'm here to help people to love themselves, but since a few months, and especially also since I've joined Shame Clinic, I was like, okay, I'm here to help people to get curious about themselves because
Oh,
in the yeah, so this really has changed with Shame Clinic. I was like,
mhm.
I don't need to help people to love themselves. I just need to help them to get curious about them because when you get curious about yourself, then you start to see yourself. And when you see yourself for what you are, then love is just obvious, you know?
That's
So
beautiful. That's beautiful.
it's
Yeah,
part. I just wanted to share this, David, even if it's not really related to my subject, but I wanted
yeah.
to say thank you because I don't know if you realize that this is what happens when you ripple your unshaming effect in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank
Where
you.
where are you living
In,
in the world?
in France, I'm near to Paris.
You're in Paris, you're in France, uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Are you French? Is that your background?
no, I'm not French at all. I'm Polish.
You're Polish. Okay.
Yeah, been
I'm
living since 15 years.
yeah, okay. I'm from the US, as you know. You might know. Just to, yeah, cultural differences are interesting. And then because English is my first language and it may not be for yours, then I just like my mind says, pay attention to that, David, because Americans get so used to the privilege of having people use their language that we forget what it's like for someone to have to orient and adapt and things like that. So I'll try to remember that in sitting with you.
Because that was the one point that I was a little bit stressed about. That I was like, okay, am I going to, because I work in French, so am I going to be able to explain what's going on in English? And then I was like, 90% of people I follow, they speak English, so I think I
Mhm.
go
Great,
through it.
great.
So,
Tell me what you would love to get help with, and maybe and we'll get curious together. We'll get curious together.
So this is why I need your eyes to help me to get curious about myself. And this is really uh, not, I really, I pay attention to not be like in, David, please fix me. I have some spots, which is normal. Every coach needs a coach and every therapist needs a therapist, I think. So I was, actually there are two subjects, okay, and I need, maybe you could help me to see if there is a connection, because I don't see a connection, but they go together.
Okay.
So there is a kind of need that I have recently discovered in myself,
Yes.
to be extremely transparent with people, including my community on Instagram, my clients, everyone.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, there is something that pushes me to always make sure that I'm transparent. But sometimes transparency is uncomfortable, and it's even, there is a voice in my head that says, okay, it's a little bit too much. Why you want people to know everything about especially subjects that you're struggling with. Okay, I'll just tell you that my vision of being a coach, and this is something that I really, or to not just be the coach, like, there are a lot of people in the coaching industry that they show only the road side of their life, and for me it's like maintaining some false vision of life, and people, they get shamed about this because they're like, okay, I never do this. So
that makes sense. I'm going to interrupt for a second. So I just want to frame what you're saying for everybody. So far, what Anya is saying is, inside of her lives, I'm going to frame it this way, lives a debate. It starts there. And the debate is between two sides. So far, I'm learning. One side which says, I want to be transparent, and something else that says, it's too much. You don't always show everything. Maybe you're struggling, maybe it's not so good to do. And then something else says, no, people should be transparent. I don't like that coaches, therapists only show their good stuff. So right now so far that's what I'm curious about. That argument, that debate that's going on inside. I'm calling it a debate. It may not have that flavor, but it's two different sides, you could say, that live inside of you.
Yeah, exactly. And while I'm listening to you, I realize that I think the second voice who's telling it's too much, there's a problem with you, with your need to be transparent. It comes a lot from people who tell with who I shared this, and they said, why do you want to be transparent? Why? And it was like, the why. It was not the why. Get curious about this. It's like, it's strange. Why do you want to do this? And I was like, I know that there is a part of me that internalized this why with this background of lack of comprehension.
Yeah, let's get curious about that debate. I'll play one side, and you'll play the other, and then we'll see what happens. I don't have an opinion that you should or shouldn't be transparent. I really don't think one is better than another for you. I don't know what's right for the world, but for you, I don't have an opinion. But I have an opinion that debate, because is important. And then when you said, my friends say, why would you want to do that? You did something like this. You put your hand towards your chest or heart, and you backed up. So that's so that voice, that opinion has an impact on you. I could see that from your body. Let's hang out with that. Let's hang out with the debate. Which you take the side of, I want to be transparent for now, and I'll take, something's happening for you already. You're having some feelings, and your hands on your chest and your eyes look moist from what I can see. Let me slow down then. And get curious.
Thank you.
What happens? Stay with your feeling. Don't worry about the ideas for a moment. Stay with your feeling. And I can see that you're closing your eyes and your hands staying on your chest. That's a good sign. That means to everybody I'm saying that Anya is staying with her feelings, because otherwise she'd be looking at me and talking, but her eyes are closed. That means she's inside herself. and she's curious, interested, caring for what's inside of her. And I don't know what's inside of her, but I know that doing what she's doing is important. I believe in her doing that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was a breath, and I saw tears before. Uh-huh.
Are still here.
Uh-huh. That's okay. Take your time. Uh-huh. And your hand is doing something. What is your hand doing?
I think my hand is like telling me it's gonna be okay.
It's going to be okay. Somebody feels like it's not quite okay, and the hand is saying, it's going to be okay. So you stay there for a second. I'm just going to talk to everybody, Anya. So we're shifting now. See, I got curious about the debate, everybody, but as soon as we brought up the debate, something else happened. The river shifted to another place, something that doesn't feel okay, and a hand that tells it is okay. So I'm going to leave my thought about the debate. It did its work. I brought that up. It did the work of bringing Anya here. And now I'm going to drop the debate problem and follow her. Why? Because I don't have an opinion. I'm not shaming. I don't think there's a right way. I think Anya's way is the right way. I'm tracking her. And follow, Anya, if you were that hand, let's imagine that you're just the hand, and feel the hand on your chest. Feel what it's like, the pressure of it, the steadiness of it, the strength or tenderness or...
Yeah, it's like I feel like my hand is protecting me from something.
Yes, keep going, believe in that. Everybody, you see, UnShaming says believe. She says, something says protection is needed, and that hand is doing it. And let that hand be even more, if that hand could be more protective. Well, yes, great. I didn't know she would do that, but now both hands are doing that. Her body is telling me things. I need both hands as a better expression of the protection. How are those, physically, how are those hands protecting? Are they holding, or would they not let something in? Or what is it like to have protective? Imagine those hands are doing the protective job. How are they doing that?
It's like it's like they would have a double function, like protecting me, like saying nobody will touch this girl, and at the same time they are making sure that I feel safe and I feel calm.
That's deep. That's a beautiful function. Anya's saying that her hands do something that's needed around this debate. Should she be transparent? Should not? Her unshaming her, something comes up that says, I need some protection. Two kinds. Something that says, I'm going to take care of you, make you safe. And another hand that holds out. No one's going to mess with this person. She hasn't, but both of those things are happening in her. And can you take one of your hands and put it outward and keep the other one on your chest? And the reason why I'm doing that, everybody, is because she showed me both of those. That's not my opinion. She says, I have two things. One hand, I'm here to deal with your safety, and the other hand, keeping people out. Now, if you can, Anya, forget about the person inside of you that's needing that. Just become this. Does that make sense? Anya's a person who needs this. That's great. And I'm wanting to know about this protector, safety, concern part of her. That is new. She knew she was feeling awkward or unsafe, but now this is not known. We want to unshame this capacity she has in her. A capacity to hold something and make it safe, and a capacity to keep something out. Forget about your feelings of unsafety for the moment and just feel, here I am. I make something safe and I keep something out. That's my job. Yeah. Feel that. Feel what it's like to be that. Imagine some divine intelligence said, please be this for Anya. She needs those two things. Safety, touching her chest, and a hand out that says, people don't get in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah. And I'm going to I want to talk to that part of you, the part of you, not the Anya who's nervous and feeling unsafe. I'm interested in her, by the way, but I'm more interested in your ability to take care of that, not my ability to take care of it, because I'm going to only be here for a few minutes. I want you to know how that gets taken care of, and your hands know better than any text could know. This is how. Stay with that energy, Anya. Here I am. I make Anya safe and I keep things out. That's my job. I know how to do that. I can do that. Mm-hmm.
So what I hear is like, she's the boss. She knows what she does.
She
So
is the boss, isn't she?
yeah,
She's
that's
the
what.
boss. And stay the boss. Now that we have a word for it, I'm okay, everybody using the word. Now, I wouldn't have been before because I didn't know what the energy is, but now I'm seeing. She says, be curious. She said, David, I need your curious eyes to look at me. So now I'm curious about this. My eyes are going to make sure they see that I'm going to do that job. And believe in her. When you believe in someone, then you unshame them. Otherwise, they say, oh, you feeling unsafe? Poor Anya. But she's not only unsafe, she's a boss. And that boss can take care of that better than David can. Yeah, stay in that spot. Be the boss. The hand up, feel it in your hand. The left hand is sticking out. Feel it in the right hand that can take care of Anya's safety. And I want to say some words to you, and I want you to respond from that, boss. I want to talk to the boss. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this transparency thing is too much, Anya. It's just you're going too far with that. What does the
No,
boss say?
no, it's not. This is exactly what the world needs. This is my superpower. This is her superpower. So leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
This is what she's doing. This is what she's here for.
Oh, I didn't know that was her. I thought that was just a cool idea. I didn't know that was her life purpose. That's profound. But isn't it bad? Isn't it bad? Sometimes you're going to expose yourself. People will think, I want a coach who's confident. And you're going to say, well, here I am in my transparent messes at times. Don't do it. Stay the boss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the boss says, I mean, it's the bodyguard of the boss. The boss is the one who is transparent, and the bodyguard says that this is exactly what the world needs, to be able to be vulnerable. I don't know if you say it in English. Be vulnerable. To
Yes.
show your sensitivity and your weakness, and still stay with your power. This is exactly what the world needs now.
Wow. I want to talk to that bodyguard specifically. I know that there's a boss part, and then Anya's telling me, I'm being curious, you see. Anya says, there's a boss part. I got to know a little bit about that. If we had an hour together, I probably would spend more time with that boss part. Very important, because that part says, I have a mission in life.
Yeah.
I'm here to do something. Well, that's incredible for a person to know. It's not just a cool idea, let's have a debate about it. It's like, but I'm here to do that. Like if I were talking to a person who was coming out as gay and somebody said, wouldn't it be better not to be? And the person say, this is who I am. Oh, this is not a dialogue about what's better. This is an essential aspect of who you are. That has to be claimed and known, because there's a strength that comes from knowing who one's self is. That's deeper than this is a good idea, but this is who I am. Something who you are, that shouldn't be changed, my view. Yeah. But then there's this bodyguard aspect. Let's stay with that left hand more pure. Let's stay curious about that aspect of Anya. Stay with that and feel that hand before you even put words in it. Feel it. Feel the muscle in your arm or in your hand or in your wrist. And imagine that it could even be more bodyguard-ish. If it could be even more bodyguard.
I think I would, I don't know how to recall this, the thing that soldiers have, like
A
the big
shield.
shield. Yeah, the big
Yeah.
shield.
Yeah, I like that. And now what I'm doing, everybody, is I'm amplifying, I'm asking, I'm saying curious. And one way to get curious, stay with that, Anya. One way to be unshaming through curiosity is to say, what would that be like if it could be free? If it could keep going? And then I wouldn't have known. I thought she was just going to have her hand be stronger. But she, in her body, her natural intelligence, her unshamed intelligence says it would be this. It's a whole forearm. It's a whole shield. Wow, that's strong. Now I feel something I didn't feel with the hand. That warrior, see, soldier, you called it, a warrior stance. That's in you. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, like this, I mean, I feel like this bodyguard is protecting something sacred, something really sacred, and won't let anyone go into it and disturb this sacred thing. It's happening, which is happening.
Wow. Wow. Something's out here that could try to get in. Something in the world could try to get in. Let me tell you what you should do. Let me tell you how you might do it. Let me tell you why you're maybe doing it the wrong way. Let me tell you why you should speak English better. Let me tell you why something or other. And this person says, I'm not going to argue with you. You don't even get in. I won't let you in. It's a kind of a boundary, some people might call it. I'm not even letting you in. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not letting you in. You can't get past this. This is the stopping spot. Stay with that just a little longer. The hand, that right, feel the tight hand, look like a fist. It's a tight hand. And the reason why, friends, I'm not going to want to call it a fist because she didn't. And I'm trying to unshame her. I don't want to put David's words in her. But there's a tight hand. I can see the forearm. If I was there, I would ask her if I can push against that forearm to feel its strength, the nature of it. That's an incredible quality. And if, Anya, if your face went along with this arm, let's imagine your jaw was like this arm. It belonged to this. There's a soldier, warrior person. She's got this, she has a face like that. And if she had words, what would they be? You can start in French or Polish if that's easier, or English if it's already coming up.
I mean, what I would like to say is like, I won't let you in unless you are going to respect totally what's inside.
Wow. Thank you for that. That makes me teary. That's gorgeous. I need that sometimes too. A lot of us need that. Wait a second. Before we go on with this conversation, I need to know something about your respect for what I am and who I am. Otherwise, you're not getting past the door. You're not getting past the shield. First, you meet a shield, and then there's a respect test. And if you don't meet that, you don't get access to Anya, the boss and the precious sacred mission that she's on. Wow. How many of us need to learn that more, or in special spots? Some places we're good at it, some places not so good at it. Wait a second. Sometimes people ask me a question on social media, Anya, and I can tell it's not a question. Some people are curious. David, tell me about this. But some people are asking a question that implies that they have a criticism and they're not saying it. And then if I were more like this, I would say, you should speak your mind first. I'm not going to answer your question until you tell me who you are and I feel that there's a respect. Even if it's a disagreement, it's got to be a respectful disagreement. Otherwise, sorry, you don't get in. Yeah. Let me ask you one more question, Anya. Where do you need this? Where do you need to be more of a bodyguard?
I think what comes first is like, I need like a kind of bodyguard filter to filter what I hear from others,
Yes.
from even people that I can follow, that can inspire me, like you, for example. Everyone. I have recently discovered this with Simone, which is who is one of the person that have the biggest impact in me discovering myself and my own genius. So it's really it's something that we don't speak a lot, but for me it's really the hardest part to filter is when I have a huge trust with someone. For example, you or Simone, you are kind of people in my life, even if you don't realize it. But you are, and you are kind of people that, like, I don't like to say that you have taught me. I like to say you help me to remind myself, to recall all this wisdom that I have in that we all have actually in ourselves. But that was my moment for me to recall myself. And when it happens, so I feel like this filter, is like less solid, because I'm like, okay, I'm certainly not understanding something that they are telling me, like they have, I'm sure that there is a part of me that says, okay, they must be right, and I must not understand, and that doesn't happen with everyone. It happens with few people, but these few people, it can happen with my partner, for example, when he says something, as I love him, and we share so many things profound. So when he says something, it's, for me, I find it very difficult to respect his point of view, and at the same time not let this point of view, cross the shield.
Anya, what you're saying is so important. I'm just honored that you say that, right? You're saying, especially with people that matter to you or you respect highly, it's even more important for you to remember, not everything is right for you. Don't lose yourself. Filter that also. They may have a good idea, but they might not be right for you. Or I could be off one day, or Simone could be, or I make mistakes at times. Some days I'm moody and I'm cranky, or I'm rougher with people online than other days. All of those things are true. And there are things that your path, your mission in life has to be remembered, especially with people you respect and people who are close with you. You have to actually remember, wait a second, let me do a little bodyguard work. I know I really respect you. I need to remember this even more. Dear partner, dear person, David, that I respect, I need to have it a little bit more. I don't want to meet you and just kind of lower my guard all the way. I want to meet you with my strength and my boundary and my filtering. And then we meet with a deeper mutual respect. That's really powerful to talk about. Thank you for saying that and making that personal with me. That's a special, I call that an invitation to a kind of intimacy, meaning a closer relationship. Hey, not everything, I really respect you. That's lovely, and I appreciate that. And not everything you say is right for me. I'm going to be a little guarded around you also. Can you follow that? So I say, oh, she's wanting a deeper relationship, not just one of, hey, I know the answer. Okay, thank you. That's a kind of relationship. But Anya's saying, no, I want a deeper one where I'm here more in my own strength and presence and bossness. I'm calling bossness. I love that. Anya, we really have to close up. It's always hard to do those things. Some people say, just go as long as you want, but I actually want to hold a container that's right for creating this thing that I keep on wanting to do, which is to give people a taste of what it looks like to treat a person in an unshaming way, not fixing them, not making them feel better, not making them feel safer, but inquiring curiously, believing that something is right inside of them, bringing up the debate and having her do this hand motion and believing that, following a person so closely, thinking that inside of them, they're going to show me something, not just listening because I should listen to another person, listening in a way that goes deeper than they even know of themselves. That's the unshaming way. That's what I'm passionate about offering. Say one or two more things, then we close up. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you a question. Thank you very much. It was really, actually, my question is related to what has already, what have,
yeah, that's a good question.
To this exercise because I was wondering, actually, I use your approach with my clients since I completed shame cleaning, and it's just incredible. At the beginning, I was completely lost because your approach was like, it created a complete mess in my approach, and but at the same time, I felt that that was the direction I wanted to take. I mean, just to go to meet people and to sit with them and just to be curious about them, you know. And that's not to have this. And I don't shame the part of me before who just wanted to help people. Okay, I was like always, I can help you. So I know that I can help you. I will help you. But now I'm like, I'm going to be curious. You are going to teach me. You are going to teach me about what's going on there. It's not me. I'm just going to be a guide, you know?
Yes.
And my question was like, I was wondering if, because I would love to help people. Of course, I will continue doing this in my job. But I was wondering, what is if it's possible to do it on your own? I mean, you know, this exercise, because I'm here also because I couldn't do it by myself. And I was wondering if it's because I'm not as that experience in this, or can you just tell me?
It's a little bit of both. Like any practice, you know, if it's a meditation practice or a yoga practice or a martial art practice, if you do it for years, right, the practice itself, or playing piano, if you practice a lot, then when you do the concert, your fingers and your heart and your body know something, they naturally start doing the keys. So there's something like that. And it's very important to say, especially around your transparency, not always. There are things I'm blind about. Our biggest difficulties are almost always places where we're also have our biggest blindness. Why? Because I can't see myself. One of the reasons it's difficult is David keeps applying David to it. He's not applying this to it. He's not applying something he discovers about himself that he doesn't know. He's applying his usual approach. David thinks this is how you do it. So he applies David to it. And then David, applied to it, works on many things. But certain things David will specifically be blind to. He will not be able to get the answer to because his vision is limited. And those things will become bigger and bigger problems. And it becomes more likely that somebody else from the outside will have to see me. And we're going to go, oh, I saw her stop. Oh, I saw two hands. Oh, I wonder what those hands are doing. I might not do those things for myself. So because I study nighttime dreams, that happens a lot with a nighttime dream because the dream shows things we're unconscious about. So how do I look at myself to find out what I'm unconscious about? There's lots of methods, and there are lots of great methods. And it very well may be that I can't see what I'm unconscious about. I may need someone else who sees it. I may need a Polish woman to see something about my American maleness. Can you follow? That I might not see because I'm steeped in it. But you might see it right away. You might see things, oh my gosh, this is the way he does things. That looks like an American male. I might not think that, right? So somebody else can see things. Anyway.
Yeah, I see, I understand. And the second question I would just wanted to know, because what the exercise that we had just did it makes me think about the loving witness, the one that you shared with us. I mean, this approach of waking up the loving witness, the one who is going to say no, not with. And I was just wondering, because before this session, I was like, okay, I guess that David, he will try to help me to to make it bigger, the feeling about how is it to not be transparent, you know. And I was just wondering why. I mean, why, or is there a reason why you chose the loving witness instead of let's go understand if we get bigger the feeling of not being transparent? How does it feel? You know?
Yeah, I have a very simple answer to that. I don't have a thought or a theory about what I'm going to do beforehand, I follow you. So you said, look at me curiously. And the first thing I heard was a debate. You said, some people look at me this way, and I think I should be transparent. And inside, you said, it goes inside of me. And inside, sometimes I think, am I being too transparent or not? So I thought, well, let's start with that. Anya's showing me a dialogue or a debate, an inner or outer debate. So I think, let's start there. So I say, what's it like to have a debate? Let's have one. And as soon as I do that, you showed me where to go next. You went, oh, and then you had feelings and you closed your eyes. So I thought, whatever we were going to do with that debate, Anya just took me to the next place.
All right.
David doesn't know what's right. Anya's showing him what's right for her. So I think she goes into her feelings. I said, let's follow her into her feelings. And then you go into the feelings and you have your hand there. And I say, what's it like to have your hand there? And then you tell me. And I say, if you could be free to do that, what would you do? And you put both of them up. And then you say it's a shield. And then you say, in that shield is a safety and a boss. And then in that shield is something that goes up that's much stronger. So I'm just following you step by step and taking everything that you bring up and pouring what I call a unshaming witness. That is, I believe in that. That must be important. There's an acorn there. Something is going to flower. Safety is going to flower. Strength is going to flower. Bodyguard is going to flower. I wouldn't have known those. If you curled up and said, I just want to find a sweet, safe space, I would have thought that's great too. So I don't have an opinion. Let's just say everybody that this is a better way. If she says, I want to curl up and just be in a hole, I say, go ahead, curl up and be in the hole. That might be perfect. But I'm following your communication to me. Mm-hmm. Your words and your body and your hands and your eyes closed. I'm thinking all of what you show me is worthy of all my belief, all my love, all my curiosity. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah. I totally understand. Yeah.
Cool.
Now I understand.
Anya, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being here and making a space for us to learn together and study together and witness and believe in other things other than what's right and wrong and what the corrective methods are. That's really important. If you can turn your friends on to UnShamed TV, I'd really appreciate that. I promise I will do this at least 2 times a month for the next year and maybe more to see if we can build more community and intelligence around that. Yeah.
Well, thank
bye,
you very much.
Anya. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, David. Bye.
Hey.